Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior. Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
You have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a warrior. Go Warriors.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.
Welcome inside the Sport One Parkview Ice House final regular season game on home ice this afternoon for the 8th-ranked Indiana Tech Warriors, and a big one at hand. Number 9, Dearborn, a critical matchup for both these teams with national tournament implications. We started off with head coach Scott Hicks. And Scott, last time we were here, you could argue probably the biggest one of the season, taking down Adrian. What did that do just for the morale in the room?
I think it just allowed us to actually believe what we talk about, that we're good enough and that we have the talent to play with anybody in the country. It's one thing to talk about it, but to actually go out and show it and do it, I think it just takes a little bit of that pressure off of us, and obviously you need to back it up.
Absolutely. And then so last night on the road, a 1-goal loss. You guys had the lead going in the third, but just couldn't convert it. What did you see in that one?
We got beat to the front of our net too many times, and it cost us twice. And it's just a detail we've talked about, and it's a little disappointing that it happened. But again, we played very well last night. Their goaltender was very strong, and we peppered her. We outshot them 2-1 and had a lot of chances, and just couldn't find the back of the net as consistently as they did. And it's something we'll learn from, we'll grow, and we'll be better today.
Sounds like a little bit of the story of the season at times. So the end of the season here, obviously you guys still have next week in the postseason, but for the home schedule, this is it. So I was curious, freshman class this year, some good contributors. How do you evaluate that group as a whole now with almost a full season under their belts?
I think for them, it's about growth, and it's continuing to grow. And they're in a different situation than our first two classes have been in, where we're deep and we don't have to rely on them as much as we had year 1 and 2. So it's allowed them to grow maybe at a slower pace than the other two classes. But I think for us in our depth, it's good, and they've learned a lot. And I think not having the pressure of performing has allowed some of them to really blossom into players that are going to be big contributors down the road. And I think there's a few that have really stepped up, and it's really nice to see.
All right, and then so December, I asked you for a first semester grade, so I want to call back to that and get a full season grade, almost full season again. Some very big points outstanding here, but to this point, an overall grade on the season.
I think we're at a solid B. I think this semester, as we played extremely well and been far more consistent since the first of the year than we were last year, and I think that's the thing that we're excited about, and we're right on that edge of being where we need to be, and I think that's something that December we couldn't say fully, and so I'm a lot happier with where we're at right now than where we were in December, and so the future's bright, and we're just excited for the opportunity today and the rest of the season to continue to grow and show what we're absolutely made of.
All right, now what do you think your chances the rest of the way here?
I think we're in a good spot. I think it's challenging, right? Like this one today against 9, we have number 2 next week, and I think it's a great opportunity. Conference tournament, we're going to play top 10 teams, and I think that's what we need. We're learning how week in, week out you got to prepare and play, and it's the challenge that they want when they come here. So I'm excited, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun for us.
All right, I hope it is. That is all I got for you. Appreciate your time yet again this season. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Joe. Bye.
All right, we'll go ahead and step aside. Indiana Tech Women's Hockey, SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that there aren't very many energy programs out there. When I researched all of the various programs recently, there are really only 2 or 3 accredited engineering programs.
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada originally. I came out here to Indiana Tech to actually go for the energy engineering program because of its uniqueness and its ability to get hands-on with the materials I'm going to be using in the future.
Well, a few of the things I think that sets Indiana Tech apart is, number one, you have very small classes. You have very close relationships with your professors. When you have a class of 10 people, it's much easier to get to know the professor and get in contact with him than if you have a class of 30, 40, or 50. You're going to have the same professors for the majority of your classes. You're going to have the same classmates for the majority of your classes.
The more practical applications come in all the subsequent energy engineering classes. Heat transfers in a class that right after they're leaving the classroom, and the board is filled with calculus. So in order to understand a lot of these topics, they're going to need to understand the calculus there. Calculus is the study of the rate of change, how fast things change. And depending upon whether it's energy engineering, industrial engineering, or whatever, they're going to need to use that and apply that.
Professor Romary, he stands out to me the most right now because when I first got here, I had to take calculus, Calc 1, Calc 2. And he's one of the professors that teaches it. And he just really was a very kind and helpful guy, and he did whatever he could to help us out. He was very funny, always had a way of creatively teaching calculus to us that not a whole lot of people can do. And I think that and how he did it is going to be something that's going to stick for me for a very long time.
The field work that Indiana Tech can provide here is, for example, we have a 10 kilowatt windmill that the students can work with. We have a geothermal system for a couple of the buildings, for Utang-Sioux and for Zollner, that uses geothermal principles to heat and cool the buildings in the summer and the winter.
The PV array system, training system that we have down here in the basement allows us to wire up the panels we have down in the basement to set it up as a off-the-grid system or a battery bank system, which helps us because we can see every component of the system actually intertwining and how they work together, which is something that may not be easily visible when you're on the job site in a career. So definitely my internship at Super Value Incorporated was a very, very beneficial program for me to be in. It was more based on the process and logistical side of engineering of my degree, not necessarily the design aspect. It helped me really learn how the most efficient way to do a task and some of the boundaries that come with trying to make things more efficient.
One of the things that we've been very fortunate here at Indiana Tech is that we've had a grant through AEP to help subsidize our students in taking some of the various trips in spring break. Over the last 4 years, I have taken, along with a couple of other chaperones, I've taken almost a couple of dozen students to a trip to Germany and Switzerland that focused on renewable energy. We've gone to Iceland last year, focusing on geothermal energy, and we just recently returned from a trip to Costa Rica.
Just last year, I went to Iceland with a couple of our peers, not even just energy engineers, but a couple of other engineering majors went along with us. And for me, that was the highlight of my college time. I mean, we learned a lot about like geothermal systems and how they converted to a country of basically like ran just by geothermal. But it wasn't just learning about that, it was also learning about their culture as well, you know, and the past and the history and where they plan to go in their future. And all those things combined, I think, really kind of defines my experience here in Indiana Tech.
You can be the smartest engineer in the world, but if you cannot talk to or work with other engineers and non-engineers, it's very hard to get anything done. I try to teach my students that while you may not like writing, it's going to be a part of the job. You have to communicate. If you're doing experiments or testing hardware in the lab, you need to write it up so that other people know what you did, and the customer may want to know what are the results of that test.
Something I would remember most about the faculty would be just the one-on-one aspect of it and how open they are to hearing your problems and concerns and willing to assist you. Indiana Tech, with the class sizes being so small, you really get that one-on-one talking, everyday type relationship with your advisors and your professors. And having that is key to success, I feel, because being able to communicate with them and actually get your problems and questions across is going to help clarify things for you while you're in classes in school, which is going to set you up for success.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes. You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.
Welcome inside the Sport One Parkview Ice House. Indiana Tech women's hockey here this afternoon to close out the home slate for the 2023-24 season. And folks, we've got a good one on tap for you. It's a heavy hitting matchup between the 9th-ranked Warriors and, the 8th-ranked Warriors and the 9th-ranked Wolverines of Michigan-Dearborn. So this is the rematch from last night's game between these two squads up in Dearborn. And in that one, the Wolverines came out ahead on their home ice. On their senior night, they came away with a 3-2 victory. Genesee Williams got Tech on the board first. They led it 1-0 about 5 minutes into the game, but they did not lead for long as Ashley Savage, scores 30 seconds later to tie it up 1-1, restore the atmosphere for the Wolverines. Moving on into the second period, Allie Green, as she has so often this season, scores, and it's a power play tally for the Warriors. They carried that lead into the third period, but then a power play goal for the Wolverines from Taylor Spence tied it up at 2-2. That one was 2:19 in the third period, so a tight game into the third. We went. Cinsali, one of the leaders in the country in points, in fact, the leader in ACHA Women's Division I with 45 points. I don't think that is inclusive of last night, but she puts Dearborn ahead 8 minutes and 23 seconds into the third period. And despite pulling the goalie late in the game, Indiana Tech just could not find the equalizer, so they dropped 3-2. So they enter this one with a record of 19-7-0-1. Still looking for that win number 20, hoping to get it here on home ice where they've been very good this season. A lot of their losses have been on the road. They usually take care of business here at home, but Dearborn, doesn't matter where, they have taken care of business emphatically this season. They've got a stellar record, 24-4-1. And somehow with that, only ranked number 9. You look at their schedule, you see it a little bit more. They haven't played the strongest schedule, not to take anything away from the Wolverines. They have played some heavy-hitting teams, including some conference wins. They're 11-1 in the conference, still have some games outstanding. And like Indiana Tech, Dearborn has quite the run up here in the March to March. They've got some good games on the schedule as well. Dearborn, though, has just lost 2 games in their last 21. So after a slow start, they've been on top of it since then. They lost 1 game to Michigan, and then they tied to Lake Superior State. So they really only lost 1 and then tied 1. And, of course, we know that Michigan team is a good one. They're ranked number 6 right now. Lake Superior State, that's a little out of character for them. But along the way, they've beaten teams like Niagara. They've beaten Miami, who's up into the national rankings and has started turning their season around a little bit. Probably a little too late, though, for the Redhawks. They might be able to make the CCWHA conference tournament, though. They've also beat Adrian. That's important because it's a comparable matchup. Indiana Tech's beaten Adrian, so has Dearborn. They've also beaten Concordia, who Indiana Tech beat, but also lost to, more importantly. For Dearborn, this is a very important stretch of games for them. I mentioned they got some big games coming up. While Indiana Tech has Liberty next year, Michigan-Dearborn has at Adrian next Thursday and at Michigan on Friday. So some very big games, and these two teams could very well meet again later this year as we are into the conference tournament. But with that said, we'll go to the public address for the starting lineups.
Starting lineup for your Indiana Tech Warriors. Starting at left wing, a junior from Calgary, Alberta, number 8, Izzo Petchan. At center, a freshman from Waterloo, Ontario, number 14, Hallie Murray. At right wing, a freshman from Wilcox, Saskatchewan, number 7, Sophie Kuzminski. At left defense, a sophomore from Cranbrook, British Columbia, number 24, Maddie Keith. At right defense, a freshman from Pickering, Ontario, number 93, Peyton Gilmore. And in goal for the Warriors, a junior from Montrose, Minnesota, number 35, Izzy Barney. And the rest of your Indiana Tech Warriors. The head coach for the Warriors is Scott Hicks, and he's assisted by Charlie Wagner. At this time, we ask that you please rise, gentlemen, remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of the national anthem.
All right, lineups and anthem in the book. Starting in net for Indiana Tech is going to be Izzy Varner. For Dearborn, it's going to be Kenna Borso, as expected. And Borso played good for them last weekend. They swept Michigan State. And Borso on Saturday, a 37-save shutout. And she was 23 of 26 on Friday in what was a 4-3 win. But that was a great comeback win for Michigan-Dearborn. Michigan State led that one 3-0, 4 minutes into the second period. Then a shorthanded goal from Evers as well as a goal from Pallane. We're going to go with that one for now. Before the end of the second period, Pero and Hand added goals in the third period to complete the comeback. So good stuff there from Michigan-Dearborn. Much more straightforward on Saturday, of course. Pallane scored late in the first period. Sinsali as well with one, and Pallane her second of the game. Were power play goals in the second. Talked about Sinsali. She is Women's Division I's overall points leader. 17 goals, 28 assists, 45 points. And Dearborn is a high-scoring team. They've got 3 players in the top 5 of Women's Division I scoring. And like I said, I don't even think that is inclusive of last night, because when I was doing my stuff this morning, that score sheet was not put into the ACHA site yet. But either way, we're out to center ice, and for the last time this season on home ice, it's puck drop. And away we go, and it is a big one, folks. Like I said, 2 teams right on the bubble of the national tournament. This one could have serious implications, and there's going to be icing 12 seconds into this one. Joe Hacker, Eric Hosmer alongside you here this afternoon. Happy to be here and wrapping up, or we're sad to be wrapping up another season of Indiana Tech women's hockey, but that's all right. It's been a fun journey, as it always is, and we're back underway with the face-off far side off the icing. Tech in their defensive zone, and it's sent down low by Stephanie Hatch. In the corner, Murray picks it out, rims it around, far side of the wall for Pedham Shan. She can't get it, overskates it. Now she's able to work it free, and she wants a quick change here. Down the ice it goes. Kuzminski keeps the pressure on. Hatch will rim it up the near side wall to her captain, Sinsali. Calverta now will play it back down the ice. And looking to make the first pass ahead is Warham for the Wolverines. Sinsali held up there by Calverta to the point for Green. Down low, good find for Williams. A little bit of a bouncer, though. And instead for Borland, far side. Her pass is intercepted. To the neutral zone. O'Neill Damascio trying to poke it ahead. Has it on her stick now, and then sent by Williams right into the shin pads of Paige Finley. Yakachuk as the Warriors look to capitalize here. Far side wall, wrist shot, glove save by Borso. So these 2 teams, conference opponents, but this is not a conference game. Indiana Tech all done with their conference games. They put up a 12-2 record in conference matchups this season, and they have secured that number 1 seed in the West Pod and are hoping that Dearborn here can help them out a little bit and help them get that number 1 overall seed, which would be of great benefit. You get to play the lowest seeded team hypothetically remaining in the tournament. There's a shot, though, from O'Neill Damascio. Easy save there for Varner. That one might have caught more the side of the net than anything. With the way the CCWHA tournament works, and with just the way the structure is this year, it seems very likely that the 2 quarterfinal winners right out in front there. That's a bad play by Michigan-Dearborn, but it comes out to the neutral zone. Looks like 2 teams from the East Pod are going to probably win the quarterfinals, and in that case, the top remaining seed would play the lowest remaining seed. So if you're Indiana Tech, they're all going to be good teams at that stage, but you, of course, want the best advantage you can, except for the fact that that might actually end up being Adrian, depending on how everything shakes out. So we'll see how it goes. We can dig a little bit more into those scenarios as we go along, but a good pace to this one to start things off is Dearborn looking to get one on the board, and Harvey Zank settles it down and plays it around the wall for Crozen. Crozen will make the pass ahead for Anderson, and Tech will make changes. Pedham Shan back on the scene here, takes it away. And Pedham Shan in the corner, plays it out high for Gilmore. Now Pedham Shan on goal, bouncer up high, that looked in, but it stays out. Referee in good position here and says no. Would have been a big goal for the Warriors. Looking to keep the pressure on, though, as Murray backhands it to the point for Gilmore. And we get a whistle, and the net, I would imagine, is going to be off. So worth noting, Indiana Tech, like they were last night, without their top two defenders in Haley Terpstra and Lauren Yonker, both not in the lineup this weekend for varying reasons. And that is certainly a hurt for Indiana Tech. Doesn't help matters. But making do, and Coach Hicks very happy with how they played last night despite that 1-goal loss. Here's Calverta. Center point, wrist shot. Looked like he got redirected down by Borland, but missed the net. Calverta, wrister was blocked to the far corner now. Williams gives chase, and trying to take her off the play is Warham. Sent to the near side of the ice. It bounces off the wall to Calverta. Sent back past her, but Williams is there and makes the pass for Episcopo as Tech regroups here. Misses Williams, does the pass from Episcopo, but it's on net, so no icing, and we play on. Warham carries through the neutral zone. Doesn't quite have the red line, but they're going to not call that one icing. Beek takes a little bit of a shove there. Yakachuk with the help and takes it away. Yakachuk looking up ice, had a lot of sauce on it. Comes to Bowler. Bowler has Hutter to the center, tried to get it to her, but it was deflected by the Wolverine defender. That would be Finley. There's Yakachuk, a shot, bounces, the rebound was there, and Bowler couldn't put it in the back of the net. Pero tied up here with Yakachuk near side, comes out to the point for Beek. Takes a look, takes a shot, deflected off the skates of Sensali. Backhanded out of the zone, and Gilmore doesn't let it go much further as she knocks it down. Has Hutter there, and she'll send it to the near side corner as Anderson will chase in there with Finley as the Warriors make line changes yet again. Spence up the wall. Onto the scene was Harvey Zank to keep that one in. And now she's the forechecker. Took one down to the wall, but we don't get a penalty here, and it comes out to be played by Evers. Evers takes the shot. Good glove save there from Izzy Varner as we get a whistle here with 15:22 to go. Izzy Varner so far this season with a pretty heavy workload, and she's got a 2.01 goals against average, so good numbers there, and a .932 save percentage as well to go along with 3 shutouts this season. She actually is trailing Ashton Berthium in shutouts, but when you factor in quality of competition, that is going to have something to do with it. Now Berthium also, to her credit, not trying to take anything away from her, had some very nice shutouts, especially those 2 against UMass. Those were good ones a few weeks back. And I would imagine get some more work here next season, start taking on some more of these higher quality opponents, or at least splitting these weekends instead of Varner really being the workhorse to the extent that she has been this season. There's a whistle as that one rolls on net. And so it'll be an offensive zone draw for the Warriors. While we're on the stats, Dakota Bowler still leads Indiana Tech in points. She's got 17 goals on the season, 14 assists, and 31 points. Looking to get to that 20-goal mark here with a couple more. I would have to average a goal per game the rest of the way were that to happen. But you never know. Calverta does a good job to keep that one in. Williams taken down. Borland in the corner. Looks to center for Green. Didn't have the angle quite right on it. And the stop was made there by Borso. And now Williams back out to center with it. Drops it off for Calverta. Redirected in by Borland. Off the glass and not out by Finley. Williams unable to keep it in, and it's forced out of the zone by Vandenheuvel. Green has one all over. That was Savage. And now Borland trying to redirect it in. Wants a change, but reading that play was Warham. And now the Wolverines regrouping this. Schroeder to the near side for Sensali. Hutter charging over. Can't get the stick on it, and it gets dumped in. Varner will leave it for Beek. Beek for Bowler. Nice redirect off the glass, and it comes out of the zone. Finley has Hutter right in her face, right in front of the net. That one could have been dangerous. But all is all good there for Michigan-Dearborn. Beek. Then for Yakachuk. Yakachuk has nothing but those amazing blue jerseys in front of her. Is able to hang on, though. And still has it. And knocked away by Sensali, but she does get it up to her longtime line mate, Dakota Bowler, who's got Hutter to the far side. Bowler looking, shooting, and the save is made by Borso with the blocker. Rebound corralled by Hutter. She tried to feed Juzak coming through the middle of the ice, but that pass got broken up. Now Sensali chasing in there. Harvey Zank comes over and does a good job slowing that operation up. Now Episcopo in transition. Numbers for the Warriors. Episcopo works her way into the corner, still shielding it. Centers. Crozen was there. Now comes the Juzak, though. Juzak is controlling the ACHA Women's Division I Instagram today. A little takeover action there. Haven't seen been on Instagram in a few hours, so I haven't seen much of that, but I'm sure it's good content, of course. Some players will take it over and they post absolutely nothing, and I'm like, well, that was kind of a failure, but whatever, as that is a failure as it's out of play. Off the stick of Cadence Pero. .12:47 here in the first. And didn't start for me. There we go. Nope. Okay, now we got it. Far side. And it's going to be chipped out there by Evers. Beek is there, though, but he's going to have Pero keeping the pressure on. Beek trying to shed it, but Pero doing a good job sticking with her. It's over to Calverta. Calverta got to move this one quicker. It's a turnover. So that's Gilmore. Pero, backhander. Gilmore with a block on it. Then rims it to the near side. And Kuzminski is going to keep this one moving. Or is she? Has to stop up. As Dearborn doing a good job sealing off these walls at the moment. Back around again for Gilmore. Just tries to go the middle this time, but hits Murray in the back. And then it is eventually forced out by Kuzminski. And then sent right back in by Hatch. Sits behind the net, and the offside pending on Michigan-Dearborn almost provided some help, and then Gilmore coughs it up again. Far side, Green is there as the Warriors need to get a clear here and start to get this one moving through the neutral zone. Here you go. This could be a good opportunity. Borland with some room to work with. And she'll skate it up ice, crosses the line, onside, shot, and that one is sitting on the goal line. That is in. So a toughie there for Michigan-Dearborn, but you will take that, and Michelle Borland with another goal on the board. Just carries it across, just fires this shot, and the initial save is made by Borso. But she does get all of it, and it rolls in behind her, and that one was just barely over the goal line. Could not have been much closer than that. So 11:34, we'll let the clock roll down to match up with that, so we're accurate. There we go. And Swagger, the linesman, no kidding, that's his nameplate. That is sick. Drops the puck. Didn't notice that until right now. The referee today, Tim Clark, a fairly regular, and the head of officials here, so we know we've got one that knows the rules. That's always good stuff. Episcopo dumps it in as Indiana Tech's going to have to tag up here on the offside. Up the ice to Sensali. Episcopo reads it and gets over there, takes it away. Tried to go right back into Sensali, and that predictably did not work out very well. But now it does work out well, and it comes to Bowler. Far side now. Hutter has the line and just needs a change, so she'll send that one in. Warham forces Beek to back up, and then it's going to be played by Gilmore. High off the glass, and it does get out and stays in play. Pero. Now it comes over to Evers and sent in. Juzak skates it up ice, gets some air under it, and that one just sits. Doesn't get good bounce, but that's okay. You don't want the icing, so you'll take it. Pass is on target there to Evers. Taken away, though, by Harvey Zank, who fans on it. Sits there. Evers sends the shot well wide. Episcopo is able to work it out. Had some all over her, but Kuzminski couldn't collect it. Episcopo collision there. Good call. No call, I should say. Good no call as Pettimshand has it for the Warriors. Pettimshand. Don't know where I got Episcopo on that. Murray getting help from Kuzminski as the Warriors doing battle down low. Gets caught along the Zamboni doors. We talk about it regularly, how those are kind of staggered. Down goes Murray, but we're all good on this. Kuzminski comes out to the point for Beek. Beek takes a look and will just play it back down into the corner. But there is Spence. Pedamshan trying to strip it away, has her stick tied up. Good thing she's got help in the form of Kuzminski. And now just as she gets it sent out, Murray decides to go for a change, and she didn't even see the puck. Now here you go the other way. It's going to be O'Neal Damaschio. Her shot is sent right up in the air and now stays down low. Just tough timing there on that one. That kind of stuff happens, but that is unfortunate. That would have been a potential, catch and shoot right there for Murray, and instead's got to come all the way back and play defense, and just how it goes. Episcopo trying to get it up the wall to Green, who's there now, and played it into the middle looking for Williams, but Dearborn was ready for it and got the sticks on it. Vanden Heuvel lofts it in. Varner will leave it for Episcopo. Nice move around one. Carries through the slot, and now is going to be able to work with it. Didn't see Borland up high calling for it, but was more preoccupied getting around the Wolverines that are right in front of her. Beek. Down low, it'll roll over to Yakachuk far side on the half wall. Whacked off her stick, but she stays with it and hangs on. Sends it into some open space, and it's going to be collected and sent up by Vanden Heuvel. Now it's Warham. She'll lead the charge for Michigan-Dearborn. Warham with Beek watching, slows up at the goal line, hits the brakes, but it comes to Bowler as Wolverines change, didn't have much support there. Now Bowler working it up far side. She's on her own as her line mates change. Bowler cutting towards the net is going to be forced off the play. No, she's not. Sticks with it. Still has it. Now the help is here. Center point Episcopo. Wrist shot is blocked. Comes on to Murphy's stick, and she's able to get it free. Now a rush chance for Sensali. Sensali. Toe drag. Backhander. Save made by Varner. Sensali, though, gets her own rebound. Cuts back through into the middle again, but loses the handle. And then Anderson is able to work it free, and her and Sensali both down to the ice. Zeifman will set up briefly behind her own goal. Turned over to Juzak in the slot. Sits there. Now it comes over to the stick of Savage. Gets it to Murphy, who just tries to redirect it. And now Pedamshand going to cool this one down for a moment. Just do a couple of, little half circles. There you go. Good one there. Almost found herself some space. And opts to drop it to Gilmore, who will put it off the door and get a bad bounce off the stanchion. But Murray is there, so it's all good. She'll kick it over to Pedamshan. Gets out to Kuzminski. Way to bat that down and keep it on her stick. Kuzminski's shot deflected up and into the netting. We get a whistle. Good bit of play there. We're all the way down to 6:33 now. Comes out to Episcopo at the point. Shot sent wide there, bounces off the wall. And collecting it is Spence. She's got to send it back to the near side, though, for Hatch, who gets it right up and off the stick of Evers. Couldn't handle it, and it's Episcopo now. Puts it off the wall for Calverta. Green to the middle for Williams. Williams off the wall to Borland. Good bit of work here from this unit. Williams crashing the net. Gets it and sends it wide. Good read, though, there by Borland. Good play by that group. I think everybody touched the puck there. So good teamwork from the Warriors as they still lead this one 1-0, but have had a couple chances. Here is one for Borland. She falls and sends a shot. Don't know how that one happened, but all right. Now played out to the neutral zone and going to be carried ahead yet again by Evers. One of the things that, at least in my opinion, has been so impressive, are they going to blow the whistle or not? Unbelievable. You're either calling it or you're going to make her play it. You just yell it and say it. Anyways, one of the things that I find so remarkable about this, record that Dearborn has right now is that they've got a short bench. So when I print off these teams' rosters, I usually blow them up or shrink them so I can fit it all the players on one page but have it as big as possible. And Dearborn, I had to blow that one up quite large. Definitely the biggest one I've had to do. So the good news is I can read these all perfectly fine. It's good stuff. But they have not a very long roster. even by Women's Division I standards. So, good stuff for them making it happen. But Davenport, I will say, probably no shock, but they were the smallest roster I think I've ever seen at this level. But Dearborn working with a fairly short bench as well, at least in terms of, looking at Indiana Tech that has got, 3 to 4 scratches a game. Dearborn, I don't think they even have a single one. So everybody gets that playing time, and they've really done a good job this season. I don't even think they made the conference tournament last season and are a lock to do that this season. Might even get the number 1 overall seed. So, but in previous matchups between these two teams, they actually have played both seasons so far in Indiana Tech's history. And at least leading into the weekend, Tech was 4-0 all time. Obviously, they lost last night. So 4-1 as down goes Episcopo. Crozen is there, though. She's put into the wall. It's poked past her and comes to Juzak. Juzak, good vision there to find Crozen, and then it's turned over to Sensali. Harvey Zank. Taken away by Sensali. Dropped to Episcopo. Not much heat on that one as Episcopo had to move that pretty quick. Had a couple of Dearborn players right on top of her. Into the Warriors' end it goes. Rimmed around, it goes to the far side for Pettimshand, and she's quickly closed on, but the help is there from Murray. 2-on-2, trying to just get it out, and then it moves back to Episcopo, who is going to send it all the way down the ice, and that is going to be icing. So just wanted to get it out of there. Did Episcopo, and so the face-off, as a result, will come all the way back down the ice. It'll be Pero and Murray to the draw. And Episcopo looking to ice it again for some reason. As, was not taking any off of that. So it's not like she was just trying to send it. She was definitely putting heat on it. Anyways, besides the point, because it got blocked immediately anyways. Williams trying to chop it in. Pettimshand with the help here. Pettimshand looking, sending it out in front, but nobody was there. Borland looked like that one came out, and it did, I think. But now Pero gets around Williams and carries through neutral ice. Down the left wing, Pero, wrist shot, rebound is there, and it's going to be played away by Beek. Now Borland sends it far side. It gets over to Green. Green fighting off the pressure here, still with it. Borland puts it on the stick of Buller. Yakachuk a shot, and getting down in time to make the save is Borso. Gilmore, shot was stopped before it got to the net. That was just stopped right there easily by Warham. Gilmore gets it back to Hutter. Hutter seeing what she's got here. Had it knocked away, so she just tried to just backhand it into the corner. Up the wall and then out. No icing here. It doesn't have anywhere near enough juice to make it anyways. It's Episcopo. Patient with it. Finds the reverse play for Calverta, who takes a look up ice. Doesn't see anyone through the neutral zone, and it goes to Finley now. Yakachuk right there with Episcopo. Not sure if they were on the same page on who was going to play that one first. Calverta with the pass to Buller. Referee in the way, but it's okay. You want to talk about a referee in the way. Side note, the referee in the men's game on Thursday afternoon was in the way constantly. It had to be infuriating. Again, side note, not relevant. But here's a turnover to Anderson out high. Beek almost had Anderson. That would have been a nice little play if they got it back down too, or probably need a little sauce on it though. Resetting it is Finley. Taken away by Anderson. Onside now. The Warriors attack. Turns over though. Gilmore forces it off the stick of Gillen. Vanden Heuvel. Patient off the wall, and then Pettimshand intercepts in the neutral zone. Is just trying to get organized here and get set up in the offensive zone. Really hasn't been a lot of offensive chances, at least in the last few minutes here for Tech, trying to get in the zone as Dearborn has been kind of having it down here, at the very least been in the neutral zone a lot. Now Tech has had plenty of chances throughout. They've had some good looks. especially in the first half of the period. But as we're inside the final minute now, it's just going to be pinned right on the visitors' penalty box. And finally, we get the whistle. I was about to say, at some point, we just got to call this one, and they do with 54.2 seconds left. We'll get that match back up. And now we are back after the center ice faceoff. Harvey Zank. D to D for Episcopo. Episcopo up to Williams and chops it in. Sensali rimmed around. It goes to the far side for Savage. Savage catches one in stride, and it's Vanden Heuvel. Vanden Heuvel through a pair of Warriors, wrapping it around behind the net. Still in front of her, sticks with it. This is Schroeder now. Schroeder tried to get the shot off, but was falling as she did and sent it off the target. Down to 15 seconds. Here's Episcopo. Puts it off the skates of Borland. And goes for a change. Now brought by Hatch. She'll send it into the glove of Varner. That looked potentially questionable for a second. And there's 3.6 seconds left now here in this period. And Dearborn is actually going to pull the goalie here. I respect this. 3.6, why not? So they're going to load up the middle of the ice here. Hatch is lined up right there, looking for the shooting position, and a good tie-up on the draw there by Yakachuk. So that opportunity negated through 20 minutes. Indiana Tech leads it by one off the goal from Michelle Borland. We'll step aside when we come back. Quick intermission report, Indiana Tech women's hockey brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that there aren't very many energy programs out there. When I researched all of the various programs recently, there are really only 2 or 3 accredited engineering programs.
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada originally. I came out here to Indiana Tech to actually go for the energy engineering program because of its uniqueness and its ability to get hands-on with the materials that I'm going to be using in the future.
Well, a few of the things I think that sets Indiana Tech apart is, number one, you have very small classes. You have very close relationships with your professors. When you have a class of 10 people, it's much easier to get to know the professor and get in contact with him than if you have a class of 30, 40, or 50. You're going to have the same professors for the majority of your classes. You're going to have the same classmates for the majority of your classes.
The more practical applications come in all the subsequent energy engineering classes. Heat transfers in a class that right after they're leaving the classroom, and the board is filled with calculus. So in order to understand a lot of these topics, they're going to need to understand the calculus there. Calculus is the study of the the rate of change, how fast things change. And depending upon whether it's energy engineering, industrial engineering, or whatever, they're going to need to use that and apply that.
Professor Romary, he stands out to me the most right now because when I first got here, I had to take calculus, Calc 1, Calc 2. And he's one of the professors that teaches it. And he was a very kind and helpful guy. And he did whatever he could to help us out. He was very funny, always had a way of creatively teaching calculus to us that not a whole lot of people can do. And I think that and how he did it is going to be something that's going to stick for me for a very long time.
The field work that Indiana Tech can provide here is, for example, we have a 10 kilowatt windmill that the students can work with. We have a geothermal system for a couple of the buildings for Utang-Sioux and for Zollner that uses geothermal principles to heat and cool the buildings in the summer and the winter.
The PV array system, training system that we have down here in the basement allows us to wire up the panels we have down in the basement to set it up as a off-the-grid system or a battery bank system, which helps us because we can see every component of the system actually intertwining and how they work together, which is something that may not be easily visible when you're on the job site in a career. So definitely my internship at Super Value Incorporated was a very, very beneficial program for me to be in. It was more based on the process and logistical side of engineering of my degree, not necessarily the design aspect. It helped me really learn how the most efficient way to do a task and some of the boundaries that come with trying to make things more efficient.
One of the things that we've been very fortunate here at Indiana Tech is that we've had a grant through AEP to help subsidize our students in taking some of the various trips in spring break. Over the last 4 years, I have taken, along with a couple of other chaperones, I've taken almost a couple of dozen students to a trip to Germany and Switzerland that focused on renewable energy. We've gone to Iceland last year, focusing on geothermal energy, and we just recently returned from a trip to Costa Rica.
Just last year, I went to Iceland with a couple of our peers, not even just energy engineers, but a couple of other engineering majors went along with us. And for me, that was the highlight of my college time. I mean, we learned a lot about like geothermal systems and how they converted to a country of basically like ran just by geothermal. But it wasn't just learning about that, it was also learning about their culture as well, you know, and the past and the history and where they plan to go in their future. And all those things combined, I think, really kind of defines my experience here in Indiana Tech.
You can be the smartest engineer in the world, but if you cannot talk to or work with other engineers and non-engineers, it's very hard to get anything done. I try to teach my students that while you may not like writing, it's going to be a part of the job. You have to communicate. If you're doing experiments or testing hardware in the lab, you need to write it up so that other people know what you did, and the customer may want to know what are the results of that test.
Something I would remember most about the faculty would be just the one-on-one aspect of it and how open they are to hearing your problems and concerns and willing to assist you. Indiana Tech, with the class sizes being so small, you really get that one-on-one talking, everyday type relationship with your advisors and your professors. And having that is key to success, I feel, because being able to communicate with them and actually get your problems and questions across is going to help clarify things for you while you're in classes in school, which is going to set you up for success.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes. You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.
Welcome back inside Sport 1. Parkview Ice House first intermission underway here, and it's a 1-0 lead for the Warriors of Indiana Tech. We'll show you how it happened here. It's a goal from Michelle Borland. Carries this one across the line and just kind of fires it at the net, and then the initial save was from Borso. Just didn't get enough of it there, and you can see that is barely across the goal line. But it is. That's what counts, and it counts as 1-0 Indiana Tech. So with that said, we got about just under 7 minutes here still to go in the intermission. We'll go ahead and step aside one more time when we return. More Indiana Tech women's hockey brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
I've worked in higher education and I've worked at other institutions, but none have been like Indiana Tech. Our faculty are very student-centered. They're focused on the students. We know our students by name. We're excited to see them.
Indiana Tech focuses on relationship-based education, and we really try to have the faculty get to know the students inside the classroom and outside the classroom.
What I think the College of Business does especially well is to focus on students. They focus on student engagement both in and out of the classroom. They look for opportunities to help students become who they want to be.
The mission of the College of Business ultimately for students is for them to be ready for the workplace when they graduate, so that they can assimilate into a job and a career, and they are equipped with the information and the skills that they need to be successful in the workplace.
I would say there's one thing that I've come to know Indiana Tech to be, and that is that's an institution that is full of opportunity. Whether it be from the faculty side, there's always opportunity to do things, but students, I would tell you, there are tons of opportunities here. Take advantage of them. There are opportunities to compete and play sport, whether it be in the athletics department or intramurals. There's opportunities to earn a degree, obviously, but there's also opportunities to earn real-world experience while you're earning that degree. So take advantage of those opportunities while you're here.
We have a business core, and from there students can have concentrations in one or several different areas such as HR, marketing, management. We have degree programs in accounting and finance. So there's just a wide variety of opportunities for them here.
We think it's really important at the College of Business at Indiana Tech to get students involved in real-world business experiences right away, because it's never too early to start skill building. We'll bring authentic projects into the classroom for them. They may have the opportunity to work on a marketing plan, to work on a training program, to solve some business problem that's going on here locally. They'll have access to guest speakers. They'll have the opportunity to be able to work on business projects with a local small business.
Our internship program is really cool because we start students off with a pre-internship seminar their very first year, so that they learn how to put their portfolio of work together. They begin to learn how their coursework plays into their career. And we also work very, very closely with our Career Center, and there are just a list of jobs available at any given time for our students. We in the College of Business also have an internship course where students can earn credit, actual on-the-job credit, while they're actually doing what they want to do when they graduate.
This is a significant position. This isn't just you're there to shadow. This is truly involved. So whether it be at Merrill Lynch, whether it's Parkview Hospital, Micropulse, Steel Dynamics, Zimmer, the list of companies is endless where we've had these in play. And every single one of the students that picks up one of these internships goes on to either an offer there or catapults from that internship into the workforce, into a position that they are more interested in.
We do an annual survey here of our employers, and we know that our students routinely do very, very well, and they're employed in all different kinds of industries and sectors. They're in profit organizations, nonprofit organizations, they're in healthcare, financial services, and they do very well. And I think a big reason of that is because we look for that engagement.
Students in our classes get to learn about project development, proposing ideas, marketing their own ideas, everything from helping a company with a startup project to creating a growth strategy. And I think that's really exciting because our students in classes right now are supporting their peers in starting businesses and marketing.
Indiana Tech College of Business is thrilled and honored to be accredited by the International Accreditation Council for Business Education. Having an accrediting body from an external entity accredit a school of business means that you have a validation of continuous improvement, of quality education. We live by rigorous standards that the accrediting body asks us to maintain on a regular basis, all the way from program decisions to faculty credentialing. All of these things are impacted through accreditation.
Our doctoral program on campus is the PhD in Global Leadership program. I think there are two takeaways from that program that are at the doctoral level that are really powerful. Every single person who enters the workforce has the potential to be a leader. They don't have to be a manager, they don't have to be an administrator. It doesn't matter what field which industry they happen to work in. They have the potential to be a leader. That's a component, a competency, a subject area that can be applied in almost any discipline. The second takeaway, I would say, would be the global component. We live in a global society, we live in a global marketplace, and so many of our students will not just be working here in the United States. Some students may find themselves working in jobs that take them to different parts of the world.
The advice that I would give an incoming college student would be to brush up on those time management skills, to not be afraid to ask questions, and to get involved. There's many things on campus that students can do, so get involved and have fun.
Some of these different things may involve internships. People gain valuable work skills through collegiate level sports. All of these skills can be brought to prepare students for success in the classroom and also, again, most importantly, in their careers as they move forward.
So a degree from Indiana Tech means that our students have critical thinking, they're creative, and they're always going to be learning. So they could go into a number of paths. I mean, they could start their own business, they could work for a small business, they could work for an agency.
Welcome back, ready to go. Second period here between the Warriors and the Wolverines. We're back underway. Off the face-off, it was Gilmore first, and now it's going to be Beek that dumps it in as she gains the red line. And Pettimshan first in on the forecheck, but it evades her and gets out to the point for Beek. Fans on the shot, and then knocked out of the zone there by Hahn. That is Sensali who digs hard for it. No icing called. That one negated. Kuzminski ties up with one, but no penalty. Now the Warriors bringing it ahead. Kuzminski with one back check-in, works her way back out to the outside. Right there for Pettimshan. She can't get the stick on it as she goes down to the ice. Off the skate of Sensali, it bounces to Episcopo and then knocked away by Sensali. This goes all the way down, and Varner will hang on for a whistle. Indiana Tech still looking to get that 20th win of the season here. Got up to 19 the last Saturday with the win over Adrian. Fell last night and then have the lead here today as they look to close this one out. Could this be an opportunity for Green? Has a step on Finley, but running out of racetrack here. She's going to have to turn this one into the corner and back up the half wall and then cycles it for Borland, but it gets past her and it comes to Williams in the near side. Back down low, skips past Borland. Green to the corner. Finley gets her tied up, but Green sticking with it there. Borland now going to activate as it comes free. Williams up top, in her skates, and taken to the far side half wall again. Finley up the boards, kept in though by Beek. To Hutter. tried to spin around shot, but it got too far away from her. Zeifman tried clearing it, but Gilmore gloved it down, and then it is forced out either way. Unfortunate circumstances there for Beek. There's a shot, and a big save comes in for Varner, the opportunity from Pero. Hutter settles this one down and carries it, gains the line, and sends it on in. Yakachuk over there with Hatch, and Hatch trying to reverse it, gets past Bowler. As the Warriors change, it's played all the way up, and Episcopo will regroup in her own zone, backhanded to Anderson at the far side. Trying to seal the wall and get it in, and she does. Has Croson to work with. Anderson takes the shot, goes high. That's off the outside of the post. Now bounces out in front. Croson trying to jam it. She's taken down to the ice. Catches one more for her troubles, and still tension's boiling a little bit over there. And now they cool. And it looks like all is going to be okay. Scott Hicks looking for a penalty. And I don't think he's going to get one here at this point, and is not. So the faceoff will be in the near side corner. And it'll be Juzak to take it. And opposite is going to be Schroeder. Juzak now to the dot and gets the puck down. Out to the point for Episcopo. Episcopo walks to the center looking for a redirect, but didn't get it. Now penalty coming to Dearborn. And so Indiana Tech going to get their first try on the power play, and it's going to be cross-checking the call. Guilty party here is going to be Spence. And she'll sit for 2. So already leading 1-0. The Warriors hoping to double that here. I think it was 1 for 4 last night on the power play, and I think Dearborn was 1 for 5. So good opportunity here for the Warriors. We'll see if Bowler can get it right to Borland. Tried to, but couldn't. We've seen Indiana Tech try that before. Usually it's Williams in the dot there, though, but she's up at the left point, and it comes to her now. Williams will walk this one center point, then for Borland. Sent across for Bowler, left circle. There's a shot. Rebound in front. Hutter can't get the stick on it. Still loose. No whistle. Looks like it's under Zeifman. The referee has a look at it, and now he will blow it dead. And Zeifman looks like she might be a little bit in some discomfort here. And surprised that one was allowed to go as long as it was, frankly. But Zeifman, I would say, definitely took a couple of jabs at the sticks, probably in the side there, and she's going to have to come off after that. So Dearborn will change their defense pair, and 139 still remains on the penalty to Spence. Borland will take the face-off this time, as it is on her preferred side with their backhand to the middle. But it's Dearborn that controls, but Indiana Tech going to keep this one in. It's Bowler sticking with it. That one works out well for Williams. Williams, good find to Borland, but it's just too far in front of that front skate. Borland, high slot, looking, down low, trying to get to Bowler. Then comes out high again for Borland. Sends the shot, and looking for the redirect where both Hutter and Green, neither of them got it. And it's going to be out to the point where it's going to be caught by Williams. Borland on the half wall near side. Now goes for Williams, and then right back. Tries the one-timer, but flubs it. Up to zone. This is trouble for Indiana Tech as they're on a change, bringing it ahead to Sensali, but the reinforcements come back in time. Down to the last 45 seconds here of the power play for Indiana Tech, and Dearborn doing a good job killing some clock here. But then Episcopo settles it, and then it's intercepted as she tried to get it up to Yakachuk at the blue line. Kuzminski carries across. Kuzminski into the corner, still hangs on, takes the poke check there with no trouble from Finley. Then out to the point of Episcopo, long wrist shot, blocker save made by Borso, rimmed around, but Pettimshand reads it like a book. Pettimshand drops off for Murray. Murray trying to work this one in front, sitting in some skates. Pettimshand can't get the stick on it, and she's going to take a slash. That's a little weak in my opinion, but nonetheless, high stick. Okay, well, if it's a high stick, I can't argue that because I wasn't paying close enough attention, apparently. But either way, that is going to be on Pettimshand on her birthday. That's kind of rude, in my opinion, to give her a penalty on her 21st birthday. I know for our Canadian friends, 21st probably not as big of a deal as it is here in the United States of America. But either way, still, birthday regardless. Just almost kind of rude. So for 6 seconds, we'll have 4-on-4 hockey. And then it'll be 1:54 on the power play. Following that from Dearborn, of course, pending no other penalties or a goal. They could. This would be their first opportunity. And now we're to the penalty kill. And right in the nick of time, cleared down the ice by Episcopo. Warham up to Vavos and Solly, man. These 70s. I mean, two of the most prominent players on their team, both 70. And you're just mixing them up here left and right. Hate to see that thing. You know, it's the end of the season. I should be in prime form. Here's Juzak, though. She'll rim it around to the far side, and it'll roll up to the point for Zeifman. Borland tried to poke it clear. Gets around Calverta, does Zeifman. And another penalty coming here to the Warriors, and Episcopo, as she touches up, will be the one to get it. This should be cross-checking as she took down that Dearborn player in front. I believe it was Schroeder. So that is no bueno for the Warriors. They'll be 5-on-3 for 1 minute and 13 seconds. As they try and defend this lead. 14:49 on the clock. I am way ahead of time here. There we go. So the three for Indiana Tech that'll start off the kill are Bowler, Williams, and Beek. No surprises there. And Dearborn will win the faceoff. Warham to the far point for Zeifman. Back across for Warham left point now. Beek tries to get the block on it, but it gets through her, and off the pad of Varner comes to Pero. And now Dearborn works it out high again for Zeifman. That shot sent wide. Beek gets behind the net, but doesn't come away with the puck. Pero shot. Varner, good read, makes the save. So 51 seconds now, still in the penalty to Pettimshand. With 14:26 here in this second period. Beek will pick up off the faceoff and send it up to the point, but not enough air under it, and picks a bad line. It's taken over by Zeifman. To Warham, now left point. Winds and fires. Good block there by Bowler. Back out again for Warham. Walks along the line, then to Zeifman. Beek comes out to challenge. Warham again, one-timer long range. And Varner able to get over and save that one. And another whistle, 29 seconds here. 5-on-3, and Tech will change the unit. It'll be Borland, Calverta, and Juzak this time. Tied up off the draw, but it's Dearborn that comes away with it. A little miscommunication, almost a chance for Borland to go on a breakaway. If she pokes that pass, she could either get tripped or send herself the other way with both the Dearborn defenders flat-footed. Passing into the middle, sitting there, Borland moves around and backhands it clear. Now Juzak has to get on her horse here. It's going to probably be covered here by Borso if I had to guess, and it will be. Borso out of Woodhaven, Michigan. Last team was Woodhaven High School boys varsity. So good for her. Going from the boys varsity high school hockey to ACHA D1. Most players, of course, play some sort of AAA U18 or elite hockey before making the jump to ACHA D1. Not for Borso, though. Sensali, as we're down to 5-on-4 for 35 seconds now, is the situation. Fortuitous bounce off the wall for Indiana Tech. Pettimshand put into the wall there by Evers and forced out of the zone. Now through the neutral zone. The Wolverines trying to regroup again, but Bowler doing a good job applying a lot of pressure here. Pettimshand blows a tire. Hate to see that. Schroeder across the line inside of 15 seconds on the power play. Schroeder cutting towards the net. Varner, though, makes the save. Loose puck comes to Juzak. She'll carry this one up ice, and that should do it for the power play. We're down to 3 more seconds, and Episcopo will be out. Penhamshand to the point for Beek. Walks along, winds and fires, redirected, up and out of play off the stick of Hallie Murray. Joe Hacker, Eric Hosmer with you here this afternoon. And our last broadcast of the season here for all of Indiana Tech hockey, not just the women's team. As the men's team, their conference tournament next weekend, and the women out to Lynchburg, Virginia next weekend for a big series against second-ranked Liberty. And that is a critical opportunity to help out their national ranking. Thursday, 9 o'clock start, which, you know, I'm told works out nicely for the travel plans. And it sounds like it works out as good as you could have hoped, actually, for the travel plans. That sounds like the ideal situation. But the 9 o'clock game is probably not how you would draw it up. But, hey, works for me. I'm not going to have anything to do, obviously, at 9 o'clock on a weeknight. So that's perfect. I don't even have to build my day around watching the game. You love that. Now, Friday, unfortunately, you know, that afternoon start, that's just killer. But it is what it is. Maybe we'll have to throw it on at work. Picked up by Zeifman as she sets this one up. Redirected up into the glass by Yakachuk, but the taller glass in the corner keeps it in play. Yakachuk brought down, no penalty. Up ice we come with Finley. Now it's going to be, that is what? Gillen. And then again for Finley. Hutter can't poke it past. Yakachuk finds it in her skates, puts it around Pero, but too strong, and it's going to be played by Zeifman. Zeifman, I believe a former teammate of Borland, coming in hot there as bowler, and that is going to be a penalty on Indiana Tech when they touch up. So joining the rush here is Borso. Obviously kidding. There it's tied up and eventually touched by Indiana Tech. And I would imagine this is going to be bowler for checking. It is at least checking. And there's the confirmation that it's on bowler. But what I was saying, I believe that Borland and Zeifman were former teammates. You look at Zeifman, she's listed as BAD Blazers 18U. And Borland, her previous team, Belmont Blazers. I'm going to go ahead and assume those are probably the same thing, considering they are both kind of out of that Toronto, Ontario area. And their families are sitting together today. So, and I only know that, obviously, because they're wearing jerseys. So just a total shot in the dark there. We're going to make a guess. But interesting to see, you get a lot of that these days. A lot of these players, kind of a similar recruiting pool for everyone in ACHA D1, at least these higher-end programs. We got a bunch of, I think Stitt was a former teammate. I don't even remember who it was. Maybe it was, I don't think it was Terpstra. She's from Alberta. I think it was another Calgary Fire, Red Deer Chiefs, something of that effect. But you get the idea. As we get back to it, it's another power play for the Wolverines. Sends Sally around Calverta, but not around Episcopo as it's knocked away from her. Hatch. Oh, good read by Penhamshand. That is the penalty. There you go. Good call, Stripes. And that one rather quickly touched up. And unfortunately for Spence, that's just the way it goes. He is arguing this one vehemently. And that is going to be her second. But, I mean, I kind of understand where she's coming from. But, did they call high sticking on that? You can't argue high sticking. If you want to argue body checking, that's okay. But, yeah, they call high stick on that. Okay. Whatever works, man. So I will say, I'll admit, I'll out myself here, folks. I kind of jinxed this one. So the official here, I said earlier, he's the head of officials. He does a ton of games here. He does, like, a high school hockey game almost every Wednesday night. And he typically calls a lot of penalties. And so I texted my buddy that we had him tonight for this game and said he wasn't really calling much because it's kind of harder to call a lot of stuff in women's hockey. It just generally is lower penalties. I apologize because it appears that I jinxed that. That is 5 now in the first half of this period after none. Look at this stretch pass. Oh, it didn't get there, though, for Green. It had Green break, and don't know if you caught that in your camera. She was flying up this near side, but did have a Dearborn defender with her. That pass just gets blocked, though, but that could have been money. Wasn't meant to be, though. 4-on-4, by the way. Don't even think I said that. And now for about 30 or so more seconds before Bowler comes out, and it'll be 52 seconds of power play time. Quick math for Indiana Tech. Here's 55. It's Borland, another long-range shot. That one doesn't work as nicely as the one in the first period did, as Borso makes 100% of the save on that. Yakachuk for Pedamshan. Short pass. She wants to go far side with it and then drop it off for Beek. Beek with the shot, and it was blocked aside. And then Pedamshan will put Finley into the wall. Back down to her now as Bowler going to step out of the box here. So this is a bad look for Indiana Tech. They almost just caught another bad change on a power play. That might need to be observed. Comes out to Pedamshan, though. Well, here you go. Numbers for Indiana Tech, but Pedamshan kind of forced to just dump this one in, and she is tied up there with Hatch. Kuzminski, though, there with the help. Pedamshan for Murray. Murray had a stick lifted from behind. Now Kuzminski in the corner, looking for some help. Takes a shot. Rebound is there. Sent just wide. Borland back across at it, and it's in. It hits off someone. No, it's waved off. Yeah, can't lie. Don't disagree with that one. I think it was off Pedamshan that it hit. We'll take a look at it here. And it's waved off. Borland sends back across, gets the air on it, and it hits Pedamshan. I don't know. I mean, it kind of hits off her, and they must be saying she kind of, made a motion to kick it in, essentially. Same kind of principle. Must have hit off her hand or something. So no goal to call, and it will come out to the neutral zone with still 22 seconds left on the penalty to 22. Taylor Spence. Down the ice it goes, and Varner will leave it there for Williams. Williams had her stick lifted and lost the handle as a result. Bowler, far side, she'll drop it back, and it's going to be Williams now. Williams looking up ice and says to go fairly parallel, but it's off the stick of Gilmore, and then sent in the zone there by Hatch, and Varner will stop it and leave it yet again. This time it will be for Williams. Sent up ice. Pedamshan was hanging out here at the Dearborn blue line, but it didn't get to her. Varner. Gilmore tied up there. With her is Savage. Still down there. Loose puck. Savage right there, sitting there, trying to jam it. Can't get it. Pedamshan, though, will come away and take it. She'll charge up ice. Here she comes. Chips her around Zeifman into the corner. Pedamshan had some serious wheels here, seems like today. She has been flying around. Good to see. Kuzminski side of the net. That is not going to be a penalty, probably. I thought it probably could have been, but it looked like they kind of held up there. So I think that one's probably going to go unpenalized. As we're down to 7:32 in this period. So past the halfway point of this hockey game. And still 1-0 our score with that goal waved off. So Dearborn just kind of getting things organized here, and now it looks like we're going to be good to go. And we are. A little bit of tie-up off the draw, but it comes to the point for Episcopo. Now for Calverta. Her shot directly into the foot of Crozen, but it's all good. Doesn't look like it had affected Crozen. Episcopo fires. That one redirected by Pero. And eventually it'll drop onto the stick of Warham, and she'll send it out of play. And not sure what the rapid whistles were about on that one. Maybe not allowed to change, and they thought she was going to go to the bench and try and hop off real quick. So it'll be a defensive zone draw here for the Wolverines, as Indiana Tech has had a good chunk of the play down here at this end. This period, I'm not going to call that. That's fine. And that is going to be out of play. So we'll get another draw here. 6:58 to go. And this time the faceoff will just be near side instead. Out to the point for Beek. Played it back down the wall, and it's going to be picked up by Spence. Spence intercepted by Beek. Good read. There's a wrist shot blocker saved by Borso. Beek sends it back through, but no one down low enough to pick that up. And then it's sent out by Spence. Heads up here. Gilmore, though, able to negate that from Murphy, who might have jumped on it. Now here is Murphy. She's going to be one-on-one with Beek. Has Evers trying to join. Gets it to her, just too far in front, though. Evers looked to center but fanned on it. Hutter, as one pinches down, it gets past Warham. And now Hutter through the neutral zone, puts it on the stick of Gillen, but it's on and off and comes for Beek, who dumps it in. Pero stops up just below the dot. Tied up by Harvey Zank. Puck sits there, sent out in front of the net, but the save is there for Varner. Williams plays it to wall, can't get it up to Green. Now it comes out, stepping into a shot there, but having it blocked by Williams was Hatch. And a penalty coming here, and it's going to be on Dearborn. Not sure what it was. It's going to be Evers. And it's going to be for slashing. At least it looked like it was going to be on Evers. Looked like that who the point was to. And it is. They had to go track her back down. So the parade to the penalty box this period continues. There was a brief pause in it, but with 5:52 to go here in the second period, it's going to be another power play for Indiana Tech. They are, 0 for 2 so far, I think. Episcopo will control it off of this faceoff, though, and it's down low for Pettimshand. Pettimshand to Episcopo. Episcopo to Murray. Murray has the shot. The save, though, comes through for Borso. Pettimshand recovers, but fans on the initial pass. Then gets it to Episcopo, but it slides under her stick and out of the zone. 1:35 as Yakachuk drops it back to Episcopo. And the Warriors trying to get power play breakout set up here yet again. And Yakachuk under pressure here, kind of just a little disjointed. That is a penalty. There you go. Good call. And another one coming, so it's going to be 5-on-3 here for 119 for Indiana Tech. So that is good news. We'll see if Dearborn can do what Tech did earlier in the period and kill off a long 5-on-3. The penalty going to be on Sensali as well. And that'll be, I would assume, welcome news on the Tech bench as you take one of the best players for Dearborn off the ice. So the draw will be far side, and it's going to be Bowler that takes it. Comes to Borland. Borland with the drive, and it's high. Rolls back around to her, though, now at the right point. Patient with it. Looks over to Bowler. Bowler left circle. Takes the shot, goes high, and the save is made by Borso. Might have had to get the stick on it to make that stop. Now left point for Williams. She'll walk the blue line for Borland on the dot. Borland goes across looking for Bowler, but had too much on it. More of a shot, a high shot pass than a low shot pass. It just didn't work out for him. 50 seconds of the 5-on-3 as it's kind of tied up eventually. No, now it's tied up again. Or is it? No, it's not. Comes out to the point for Williams. Down low to Hutter. Hutter, bad angle tried. The pad save is there for Borso, and Bowler on the recovery. Center point Williams. Williams takes a look. A little pump fake action to Borland. Back across for Bowler. Doesn't like that look and settles it for Williams up high. One-timer for Bowler, and eating that shot was Hatch. Now Bowler does good to get that puck back. Green, as we're down to 15 seconds of the 5-on-3. Borland, right circle, backs it up. Just puts it into the open corner as Murray onto the play. And now Tech making changes right in front for Borland. She scores. Not how you draw that one up. But they all count the same as Indiana Tech is in transition on this power play here. They change, and Michelle Borland, another 2-goal game on home ice, and it's a 5-on-3 goal. So Borland coming on strong here late in the season, and as long as Bowler hasn't gotten any points, well, actually I don't know how it shakes out from last night, but the gap between Bowler and Borland entering the weekend on points was 2. And Borland with 2 goals here this afternoon. So still 5-on-4, though, for now 42 seconds. So the Warriors with the chance to add more here. They now lead at 2-0 as Pettimshand will pick it up, and that pass off target to Murray, and Zeifman steps into it. Now it's Kuzminski. Kuzminski run into the wall there by Schroeder, but Yakachuk has the coverage. Yakachuk drop pass for Episcopo, and it's going to be sent down the ice by Madison Schroeder. So one more chance up the ice here. 10 seconds on the power play for Indiana Tech. And Episcopo will make the first pass to Yakachuk. Yakachuk as Williams comes streaking through. Good find. Borland open to this near side here. Williams, though, cuts to the net and puts it off of Borso for the stop. Sensali as we're back to even strength. 5-on-5 goes around Beek. Sensali, though, has Green with the back check. Sensali still just fights all that pressure off and puts a shot into the glove of Varner with 2:54 to go. So the faceoff will be to the right of Varner. Sent around, and it's going to come to Borland, but she can't get there in time. Williams now has it, and we'll work this out. Gets Borland. She'll cut it back outside. Kind of fans on rimming it around. Now it's Beek down low towards the net. Calverta over here just in the nick of time wins that race with Vanden Heuvel. Backhanded out to the point for Beek. She'll try the shot on net, taken down right in front of the net, but with no call. Warham on Hutter, as this is Bowler. Warham and Hutter come together again. Vanden Heuvel and Bowler down there as well. Calverta at the hash marks, takes that one right off the cage. And now here is Yakachuk. Sauce for Calverta. Calverta wrist shot, had a good look at that one, but the pad save for Borso. Hutter to Episcopo. Wrister. Yeah, that was a nice try there by Bowler, off of the post. Now this is Yakachuk. Yakachuk has Pettimshan, takes a shot herself, though, and it's up and over after the save from Borso. Gilmore to Pettimshan. Around to the far corner for Murray. Murray backhanded to Kuzminski. Has Vanden Heuvel for company. And Hatch is there for the Wolverines, too. Backhanded up the wall. Beek pinching in, fans on it, and now numbers for Michigan-Dearborn the other way if they hustle, which they do not. Hahn turns this one back up as their line mates all go for a change, hence why they weren't really rushing on that 2-on-1 rush opportunity. Pettimshan has some pressure on her. Zeifman's shot is right off of Murray. Now getting in gear here. Could be a chance for Indiana Tech. Murray tries to lock it up. Didn't have the gas for it. Kuzminski's shot goes high, and it looked like trying to use her face to block that one was Borso. Savage will go backwards for Zeifman, but Zeifman, it wasn't a tape-to-tape pass. So Indiana Tech gets a chance here on the forecheck, but it's played out, and it comes to Episcopo down to the last 40 seconds. For Harvey Zank. She'll go right up to Anderson and then puts it off the skate of Crozen, who gets it to Juzak. Kept in there at the top of the zone by Anderson. Anderson will drop it for Episcopo. Episcopo to her right and then plays it into the corner. Crozen collides. I think it's Finley that's down there. Those two really getting after it as Crozen's down to the ice. Anderson had her pass deflected, and then Savage put it right into Juzak. Then sent free down to the final 10 seconds. Icing is signaled for and called. So with 6.2 seconds left to go, now Scott Hicks, this is aggressive. 3 seconds, 3.6 seconds, that's one thing. 6.2, that's a little aggressive, especially when you're already leading 2-0. But I have no choice but to respect it. I mean, just put them on the table here and see what happens. So it's Williams and Borland. I mean, if you're going to draw it up, you might as well. I mean, Williams is money on these. Her and Borland have almost connected on this a couple of times. 6.2, that is a lot of time. I mean, if Dearborn wins this clean, they're just going to turn around and send it, you would think. So let's see what we get here. This is a little bit bold. I like it, though. I like it. And Williams maybe not quite exactly ready for that quick draw off the face-off, or quick drop off the whistle. And absolutely nothing ends up happening there. So it all works out in the end. And through 40 minutes, the lead is doubled now for Indiana Tech. 2 goals from Michelle Borland and a 2-goal lead for Indiana Tech. We'll step aside. You're watching Indiana Tech Women's Hockey, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that there aren't very many energy programs out there. When I researched all of the various programs recently, there are really only 2 or 3 accredited engineering programs.
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada originally. I came out here to Indiana Tech to actually go for the energy engineering program because of its uniqueness and its ability to get hands-on with the materials that I'm going to be using in the future.
Well, a few of the things I think that sets Indiana Tech apart is, number one, you have very small classes. You have very close relationships with your professors. When you have a class of 10 people, it's much easier to get to know the professor and get in contact with him than if you have a class of 30, 40, or 50. You're going to have the same professors for the majority of your classes. You're going to have the same classmates for the majority of your classes.
The more practical applications come in all the subsequent energy engineering classes. Heat transfers in a class that right after they're leaving the classroom, and the board is filled with calculus. So in order to understand a lot of these topics, they're going to need to understand the calculus there. Calculus is the study of the rate of change, how fast things change. And depending upon whether it's energy engineering, industrial engineering, or whatever, they're going to need to use that and apply that.
Professor Romary, he stands out to me the most right now because when I first got here, I had to take calculus, Calc 1, Calc 2. And he's one of the professors that teaches it. And he was a very kind and helpful guy, and he did whatever he could to help us out. He was very funny, always had a way of creatively teaching calculus to us that not a whole lot of people can do. And I think that and how he did it is going to be something that's going to stick for me for a very long time.
The field work that Indiana Tech can provide here is, for example, we have a 10 kilowatt windmill that the students can work with. We have a geothermal system for a couple of the buildings for Utang-Sioux and for Zollner that uses geothermal principles to heat and cool the buildings in the summer and the winter.
The PV array system, training system that we have down here in the basement allows us to wire up the panels we have down in the basement to set it up as a off-the-grid system or a battery bank system, which helps us because we can see every component of the system actually intertwining and how they work together, which is something that may not be easily visible when you're on the job site in a career. So definitely my internship at SuperValue Incorporated was a very, very beneficial program for me to be in. It was more based on the process and logistical side of engineering of my degree, not necessarily the design aspect. It helped me really learn how the most efficient way to do a task and some of the boundaries that come with trying to make things more efficient.
One of the things that we've been very fortunate here at Indiana Tech is that we've had a grant through AEP to help subsidize our students in taking some of the various trips in spring break. Over the last 4 years, I have taken, along with a couple of other chaperones, I've taken almost a couple of dozen students to a trip to Germany and Switzerland that focused on renewable energy. We've gone to Iceland last year, focusing on geothermal energy, and we just recently returned from a trip to Costa Rica.
Just last year, I went to Iceland with a couple of our peers, not even just energy engineers, but a couple of other engineering majors went along with us. And for me, that was the highlight of my college time. I mean, we learned a lot about like geothermal systems and how they converted to a country of basically like ran just by geothermal. But it wasn't just learning about that, it was also learning about their culture as well, you know, and the past and the history and where they plan to go in their future. And all those things combined, I think really kind of defines my experience here in Indiana Tech.
You can be the smartest engineer in the world, but if you cannot talk to or work with other engineers and non-engineers, it's very hard to get anything done. I try to teach my students that while you may not like writing, it's going to be a part of the job. You have to communicate. If you're doing experiments or testing hardware in the lab, you need to write it up so that other people know what you did, and the customer may want to know what are the results of that test.
Something I would remember most about the faculty would be just the one-on-one aspect of it and how open they are to hearing your problems and concerns and willing to assist you. Indiana Tech, with the class sizes being so small, you really get that one-on-one talking, everyday type relationship with your advisors and your professors. And having that is key to success, I feel, because being able to communicate with them and actually get your problems and questions across is going to help clarify things for you while you're in classes in school, which is going to set you up for success.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes. You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.
Welcome back inside the Sport 1 Parkview Ice House. Second intermission here, and it's a 2-0 lead for Indiana Tech. And much like in the first period, it's a goal from Michelle Borland that does it. She's got two so far. This one a 5-on-3 goal. And you see it comes out here, and Borland just sends it off the assist from Hallie Murray. That made it 2-0, 3:56 still to go in that one. No carryover penalty time, although there were plenty of penalties. There were 7 in that period, a couple of them overlapping each team with an extended 5-on-3. But only Indiana Tech able to score. They lead 2-0 through 2. We'll see you on the other side of this commercial break. Stay with us. Third period action should be a good one. Indiana Tech Women's Hockey, SummitCitySports.com.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I just want to be the best in basketball. So I want to be the greatest of all time to play women's basketball. So I just know there's people out there working just as much as me. So I just want to keep working hard and keep that intensity going. And so one day I can pursue my dreams of being in the WNBA and playing overseas. So I just want bigger things to come in my life.
I remember when I started in March, she could do 0 pull-ups. She did have a great 25-inch vertical when she first started. She only weighed 150 pounds. One of our main mottos is do the simple things exceedingly well, and that's where we started. So we started the foundation, building her base, and now we've got to basically the peak of our pyramid of things that we can do with her. So we didn't skip any levels. We did all the basics, and she got really, really good at them, and that's what's led her to become as great as she is at basketball and performance.
I've watched her grow, the confidence-wise, the strength-wise, the jumping ability, her footwork. It's really amazing to kind of watch for a girl her size, being 6'3", 6'4", to move like she can move and do the thing and be as agile as she is, along with the strength.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcasts. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts, all with a 99% career success rate.
You belong here.
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 I belong here.
Has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And I mean, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And I mean, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
I like to stay active. I try to come in here at least 3 times a week and just get my 1-hour workout in. Since September, I think I've put on 22 pounds of muscle. I think my vertical has gone up plus 5 inches. I've gotten a lot faster since then too. I can hit the ball further. In football, I can push people around more. It's basketball easier too. Just being stronger just makes everything easier.
Brandon started with gym rats basketball training. After one of the sessions, he came up to me and he wanted to know if he could do more. So Brandon started the EDGE program in November, in addition to the club training he was doing, because it offers personalized programming for his athletic goals. PSN Performance uses a long-term athletic development pyramid. At such a young age, it's really good for Brandon to set the foundation of athletic development. Since he is in season all year round, he has to be ready for all the physical demands. So he does a lot more strength training, just because in basketball he sprints and cuts a lot. In baseball he's doing a lot of sprinting. In football he does a lot of sprinting and jumping. So preparing him to withstand the physical demands of those games, he does a lot more strength training.
I like all the lower body stuff the best. I do goblet squats, split squats, back squat, front squat, a lot of those. Tyler knows what's best for me. He always points me in the right direction. He just pushes me to go harder every day.
In 4 years, this could be you!
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts.
You belong here!
Area sports looked a lot different back in 1952 when Jim Kelly opened his first dealership in Fort Wayne. 70 years later, that original dealership has grown into the Kelly Automotive Group with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall and Kelly Chevrolet on Lima Road. Fort Wayne continues to support our local teams and businesses. Thank you for 70 years. We could have never done it without you. Visit us today at drivekelly.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
Welcome back inside the Sport One Parkview Ice House. Slight delay there with the referees getting back on the ice, hence why we're a little bit further behind than we usually were. I didn't hit my pristine timing on that commercial like I usually do, but that's okay. That's okay. You know what? You win some, you lose some, but I hate that being my last comeback from intermission. I just thought about that. That is a tough break, tough way to end the season, but who knows? Maybe we'll get overtime and we'll get one more try at it. But either way, team's back out on the ice now. We got a fresh 20 minutes on the board, and we should have a good run to the finish here in this 2-0 game, a big one. The Warriors looking to avenge last night's defeat on the road. Dearborn looking to get a sweep, but they have an uphill battle to climb. And like I've said repeatedly, and also in the weeks leading up to this game, national tournament implications, both these teams squarely on the bubble right now. And would like to win this one, but I think, you know what? Indiana Tech really just wants to get the win to avoid the sweep more than anything, as we're back underway for the third and final full period on home ice this season. It's been a great ride, folks. Back to it, though. Far side right in front of the Dearborn bench. It's controlled by the visitors. And Sensali trying to chop it past Beek, but can't. Pettimshand looking to work it in, and it's going to be Kuzminski. Now Pettimshand will whip it around, and it rims around to the far corner as a quick change for that line, or at least for Pettimshand, as Williams onto the scene, as is Green now. But Sensali controlling for Michigan-Dearborn. Knocked off that by Beek, and then skating into the corner with it is going to be Warman. But just sits there for Williams. That'll be an easy pickup, and she'll carry it up ice. Beek with Borland alongside. Beek tied up. Rebound. Borland stays out, though, and then is cleared away. Episcopo, her shot is a high one, and the stop is made by Borso. Calverta sends the drive wide, and it comes to Episcopo off the carom. Episcopo, her shot is high and hits the glass, and now it comes and going to be picked up by Evers as she charges ahead. Gets around Calverta, but doesn't keep the puck on her stick in the process. Now Yakachuk is in there. And it comes around to Episcopo. She takes a look. And the high stick signaled for here by the referee. But it's Tech that touches up, so all good. Now Episcopo has to get into the corner as Pero is bearing down. And finds the release point to Calverta. Nearly turned over there, but then gets it right back. Icing waved off by the linesman at the far side. As Hutter keeping the Wolverines honest here as the changes are being made. Finley has it sent past Beek, rolls on net. Varner going to have to play this one and does, just puts it into the corner. Vandenheuvel puts it out front right there, and a goal for Michigan-Dearborn. So if you wanted an ideal start to the period for Michigan-Dearborn, I think that would be it. And it looks like this is going to be Nicole Hahn. That goal comes not even 2 minutes into the period. And the deficit is now just 1. So false start there on the draw as Dearborn getting their players ready. And linesman just doesn't pay attention to it. And so now it looks like we're good to go, and we are. It gets down cleanly this time as Dearborn a little bit louder on the bench now. Or actually, that might even just be Indiana Tech trying to get everyone standing a little bit taller yet again after conceding that goal. And I told you we were going to have a good run to the finish here, and Dearborn stepping it up a notch here with an early goal. So it'll be a defensive zone draw for Tech. And to the dot is going to be Murray. And across is Vanden Heuvel. To the far side, there's the shot from Spence. The shot is blocked by Pedamshand as she eats one. Put into the middle. Harvey Zank had that one covered. Misfire on the pass, but it winds up with Spence. And then she fans on the shot, trying to get it down low. And Pedamshand going to drop it back for Harvey Zank, who will put it off the wall for Episcopo. And she just sends it up and into the netting. And it's okay that we didn't go too long there because didn't even start the clock. So it'll be the same spot where the last faceoff was. It'll be here in the near side corner. As Tech still on the back foot here in the first 2.5 of this period. And we get it back down. Glove down by Zeifman at the blue line. Her wrist shot is into the glove of Varner. So guess what? We'll do it again. Zeifman, right point, goes D to D. Warman fans on the shot. Here's Green, though, right there to capitalize. She trips but gets it up ice. Swept away by Zeifman. Williams going to have 2 on her quickly. Opts to go right up the strong side. It bounces off a shin pad and right back to her. And now she finds the safety of Borland. But she's going to have to come back into her own zone. And we'll regroup with Gilmore and Beek here. And that is oh my goodness. Woo! That was tough. But Varner, quick reflexes, is able to make the save. Let's get another look at that one. That was not what we are looking for, my friends. That is not good stuff. As Beek just has it knocked away. Whew. Gosh, yeah, I don't know. That would have been incredibly tough. And I think a timeout here by Coach Hicks wants to rally the troops. We'll use one as well. We'll be right back. Indiana Tech Women's Hockey, SummitCitySports.com. All right, welcome back. I was blessed with another opportunity to ace it on the commercial break, and folks, we did it. But Indiana Tech did not ace the start of that period. They gave up a goal and nearly just gave up another one, so bad that Coach Hicks wanted to take a minute to settle everyone down and talk it over. And Indiana Tech still trying to get it clear here off the draw. That is going to come all the way down the ice, and no, it is not going to be icing as Bowler had that race easily won. So Borso came out to play it. Those two collide in the wall, and this is going to be Hutter. She's looking for an option. Doesn't like what she's got yet. Waits for it to develop. Takes a shot. It goes far side. Might have been looking to find Bowler. Speaking of Bowler, she's the next one to pick it up for Indiana Tech. Taken away from her, though, by Pero. Hutter capitalizes. Pero gives it away. She'll give it over to Bowler. Comes out to the point for Gilmore. That shot rolls through. Yakachuk had the stick tied up for a moment, but ends up getting it anyways. And she's pinned to the wall there by Spence as Indiana Tech will make a change. Out on comes Kuzminski now, but Dearborn has this one, and they're trying to get up ice the other way. That one too strong, though, from Pero off the line, and Beek knocked it away, but it's still going to be Dearborn coming back up ice. Slowly but surely making progress. Now they're going to have to go backwards as they try and give it another opportunity here. Pero, backhanded, easy. Well, it was deflected by Murray. She read it, just didn't clean intercept on it. Murray again. She'll rim it around for Beek. Beek trying to keep it up ice. It does get to the neutral zone, but it's on the stick of a Wolverine. Now it is played to the far side, and it's going to be with Warham. Turned over, though. Pettimshan, good find. They almost score. Whew, I thought that one might have been in. It disappeared from my vision, folks. I apologize if I got anyone's heart to skip a beat as they watch this one from the comfort of probably their home. Anyways, Murray near miss. That was a good play, though, by Pettimshan. She gets another chance at it here as it comes to her again, but she wants to change, so she'll just dump it in. Bounces now to Hahn, who I've got credited for the last goal to Dearborn, the only goal of this one to Dearborn. And Varner will make the save. So Indiana Tech last night, they led 3-2 entering the third. Couldn't hang on tonight. Well, this afternoon, rather. They lead 2-0, and the outcome's still TBD. They are still leading by just one now. And coming out of the timeout have been better off this period than they were in the first couple minutes. Around Yakachuk, though, goes Zeifman. Gilmore keeps the pressure on Sensali. Might have forced it off her stick, but Dearborn persists, and it's Zeifman who gets it below the Tech net to be played by Harvey Zank. Gets it to Hutter. Hutter put it ahead, looking for Bowler, but just too far in front. Dearborn, though, forced back to their own zone. Bowler bringing the forecheck. Has Yakachuk there, too. Far corner is Finley. Has a good find, but a collision of a couple of Indiana Tech players. Yakachuk doesn't find it. Now here's Sensali one-on-one with Gilmore. Toe drag to the backhand. Her shot, though, good stop by Gilmore trying to force that one wide. And Varner able to keep it out. Gets out to the point for Spence. Point to point. This is going to be Finley. Her shot is blocked for Hutter. Hutter got to get it in gear here. It goes through the gears, but can't quite get it up to eighth. And then it's going to be taken away by the Wolverines. Sensali dangles the long line, has one breaking to the far side, but it just misses the pass, the intended target for Van Gotham. I don't know if it's actually Gotham, but it's way cooler to say that, so I'm going to roll with it. It might be I truly don't know. That's really my only guess. That's why I'm going with it. That's just an excuse. Here's Kuzminski behind the net. Centers for Pettimshan. Murray, though, instead, rebound was there, but an Indiana Tech player was not, and it's out to the point where Episcopo is able to keep it in. As we're under 13 minutes, and Pettimshan picks up behind the Dearborn net and skates to the far corner. It's on the skate now of Beek. She'll cycle, looking for Kuzminski to get down there, who does. She's taken down, and there is a penalty. A little bit of a later call. He thought about it for a second, and then the penalty does come through, so that is great news for Indiana Tech. As with 12:43 to go in this third period, they are going to get a power play. And it looks like the guilty party is going to be Spence. That's her third, and she was not happy about the last one. Probably going to be even less happy about this one if I had to guess. All three of her penalties, too, were different. I'm assuming that was a trip. I was not looking at the time it was called. But just based on the play, Spence has a cross check, a high stick, and now a trip. So really just covering all facets here. And Pero wanting to have a conversation here with the referee, Tim Clark. And, of course, as expected, is not going to get that one overturned. So 12:43, 2 minutes on the board. And Indiana Tech, power play chance here, and it starts off, and they're able to keep it. Borland, far side corner. Will skate this up the half wall to the point. Borland looks to get the redirect from Green, but it goes wide. And they find the release now to Bowler near side. Bowler keeps working her way out high. Center point now for Williams. Goes right back to Bowler. Opts for Borland, whipped across, looking for the redirect from Green again. That would have been a nice play, but it's sent wide. Here's Williams. Coughed up the pass for a second, and jumping right on that play was Pero, but Bowler is there. It's a 2-on-1 along the wall for Indiana Tech, and they get it to Hutter. Now into the behind the net area, down for Green. Bowler tied up. That should probably be a hook, but it is not called. I mean, the referee didn't have a good look at it, and now the other way is a breakaway. This is Evers. Evers, breakaway, and she scores. That is a tough one, and Scott Hicks is incensed that that was not called like I was discussing. I mean, we'll keep this in the replay. You be the judge. I mean, the referee's in this back corner. I don't know how that is not a penalty, frankly. But Evers, capitalizes on the opportunity. Nice move and gets past Varner. And that is a tough one. And it's a shorthanded goal to boot, of course. And, man, that is a tough break for Indiana Tech. And this one is going to stand. They're not going to overturn it. Yikes. Oh, that is tough. I'm going to have to let my broadcast partner for the high school games, Brandon Porter, know about that one, because that is going to be right up his alley. He is going to love that one. So 1:03 still to go on the power play for Indiana Tech. But definitely the vibes kind of drained there a little bit after that one. Episcopo sets up shop behind the Tech net, and then we'll get up ice to Pettimshand. Pettimshand into the corner now. Pettimshand centers, comes out to Yakachuk with the drive, goes right up in the air, and then it's going to be thrown away into the corner by Hatch. And a hand pass called, I think. Anyway, so since we're on the topic of this ref and my good buddy Brandon, one of the games he was doing for our junior team here, the Spacemen, they lost a game by 1 goal, and there was a goal that was, I can't remember if it was called a no goal or if it was called a goal, but whatever the call was, got it dead wrong. They even had video to show that it was wrong, and so that's just tough. That's unfortunate. I don't mean to pile on, but I just felt that it was relevant to the conversation. Played out of the zone there by Schroeder. Down to the last 20 seconds of this power play, and Varner makes a nice pass. Crispy one to Bowler, who's then run into the wall. Sinsali one-on-one with Williams. Is back there as well now is Green, and into the glove of Varner. She will cover for the whistle with 8 seconds still to go on the power play. Face-off tied up between Yakachuk and Evers, still sitting there on the dot for all intents and purposes, and then it is going to be the Warriors that end up controlling. Hutter, as we're back to 5-on-5 now, and it's going to eventually come to Warham, who will dump it in. Varner going to send it around the wall, hoping for a winger to be there. There was not one. It was Evers. It's a takeaway for the 9th-ranked Wolverines. Hutter trying to wrestle it out of the zone, and does, as Bowler comes in to help out, and that group needs a change. Just about halfway through this third period, 2-2. I said we were going to have a good period. It's not exactly what I thought was going to happen, but it is what happens. It's a tie game. I was saying it might be tied, just not in that fashion. Anyways, nonetheless, Borland can't get the redirect past Hahn. Calverta, her shot kicked away by Borso. To Zeifman now. She'll try and get it up the wall to Hahn. Calverta ties her up, heads up here, and Green, as here come the Wolverines, but they don't capitalize. They had Gillen open here right in front of me and didn't get it to her. Williams has it and then almost overskated it a little bit. Had to kind of take corrective action, and because of that, not the cleanest breakout for Tech. Vanden Heuvel, wrist shot. Varner put the glove out there, but it went wide of even that as she reached for it. Hahn looks to center through. Nearly had Vanden Heuvel. Kuzminski has help with Murray and has one pinned to the wall. That was Gillen. And Kuzminski and Gillen still now just getting up off the ice. As down it goes to the Dearborn zone. Hatch with Murray right in front of her, right in front of the net, too. That would have been a potential poke there, like what happened to Beacon. I think it was Gilmore earlier on in this period that generated the timeout for Indiana Tech. Murray keeps it going off the wall. Bowler is put into it by, that is going to be Schroeder. Beak goes over there and knocks it away. Gives it a little shove as well. And it's dumped down by the Warriors. And jumping on that, wanting absolutely nothing to do with it, is Borso. Tied up off the draw, and it sits there still, and then the shot is onto the pad of Borso, so we'll just do it again. Bowler also breaks her stick in that, and so she'll head to the bench and look to get a new one, but Tech is just going to change them up anyways, and they'll bring out that sophomore unit with Williams, Borland, and Green. So the linesman just making sure he gets all the pieces of that stick from Bowler picked up. And so just the hold up being the linesman skating that over to the bench. And now we're ready to go. Is he still handing it off? Williams sent just wide right there. No, off the crossbar, sitting in the crease. Couldn't get it, though. That was close, but not meant to be. As slow to get her stick and get back situated was Borso. And now up the ice come the Wolverines. Williams slows that operation down. Here's a Piscopo, sits right there, gets it, tries to go through a couple of Wolverines, but at the very least is able to get it to the neutral zone. Zeifman will wrap this one around behind her tender Borso and sheds the pressure there from Borland. Then gives it to Sensali, who gets some air under it, sends it far side, and racing into the corner is going to be Pero. Has some help, but she's going to take an angle at this one and circle back up towards the half wall, and the shot is right into a shin pad of a Warrior. Murray gets it out, and now Dearborn a neutral zone regroup, and it's Warham down the near side that carries it in. Her shot is a high one, and Varner lets that one go over. Pettimshand again to the neutral zone. Kuzminski out there. Doesn't let the D-to-D pass come, and it's just going to be dumped in instead as Beek puts it off the wall for Gilmore. Gilmore will find the open ice to the near side. Warham offside. Good call. There you go. So 7:01, and we stop things again here. The intensity continuing to build. Really back and forth, the even game we've had here. Both teams have had their times where they've really been able to hem the other team in on their half of the ice. And right now it's Dearborn's turn to kind of do that to the Warriors. So off to face off. It's yet again Dearborn with control. Dumped down low by Hatch. Episcopo will be the first to touch it and start the breakout for Tech. Look at this. C's just kind of part for her. She's going to be able to carry this one up. She'll chip it in and chase it herself. And look to feed it out in front, but no one really on that line except for a Dearborn player that immediately blocked it. Calverta floats it back down low where it's going to be played by Hatch. Hatch, good block there by Hutter to knock that pass down. And Yakachuk on the turnover was looking for Calverta, but she had vacated the zone. Now Yakachuk, high slot. Yakachuk sends the shot. And boy, would that have been a good time for her to finish one of those off this year. Usually, moments like that, Yakachuk gets time to dust it off, find a spot and rip it. Those had been money in previous seasons, but like I've talked about over the last couple of weeks, hasn't been scoring at the pace that she had been in previous seasons. Part of that, just natural regression. And also not as relied upon as she was, of course, in that first season, where that line with Pettimshand and Bowler was just dominant. But that would have been a big goal for Yakchuk. I don't know if she's gotten up to 10 yet on the season. But think they might have found something there with that line with Hutter and Bowler. It seems like those three are really starting to mesh, as is that unit with Pedamshan, Murray, and Kuzminski. Here's an opportunity for Dearborn, though. Oh, my goodness, they score! Dearborn has come all the way back. They trailed 2-0 to start this period, and they lead it now after the goal from Madison Schroeder. You just see a good move here from Schroeder. Well, that's not even Schroeder. It's Schroeder that finishes it. That was the good move. I think that was from Savage. And just opened up that side. And Dearborn has come all the way back and taken the lead here with 5:58 to play in this hockey game. So now Indiana Tech backs against the wall. A sweep by Dearborn of the Warriors would not, knock them out, I would say, the top 10. But it certainly would not be very helpful, as it would no doubt probably, I would have to think it would switch them around with Dearborn. They've got pretty comparable resumes. So we'll see. Still time to go here. And of course, but both of these teams have, games against teams ranked above them next weekend as well. So still plenty to be decided. Obviously the conference tournament. But for Indiana Tech, you very much would like to win at least one of these two games. It's off the glass and out of the zone. Here's an opportunity, 2-on-1. That is a terrible pass there by Evers. Gives away what would have been a clear 2-on-1. Just gives it right to Episcopo, who no doubt had a sigh of relief on that one. Warham up the wall for Evers. She'll play it back for Pero. Pero sends it. That might be too hard. Gilmore a foot raise. She's going to, no way. No shot that they waved that off. Oh my goodness. She was at the hash marks. Wow, that is tough. I need to take a second on that, man. Here you go for Van Gotham. Puts it on Varner. And the save is made by Varner. I mean, unless I missed something, I cannot believe that that was waved off. I mean, certainly, was closing on Gilmore with more speed and probably would have ended up getting to that puck first, but that is not the rule. The rule is to the hash marks when it crosses the line. And I think Gilmore was to the hash marks, but I digress. Nothing we can do about it from here. Calverta, far side, backhanded up off the window and out of the zone, but Dearborn trying to turn this one right back in. Calverta has a chance to settle it down, though, has some open ice in front of her and intends to use it, and will use it up to the red line before dumping it in. Up to Hahn, who has her stick lifted by Beek. Comes instead to Pedamshan, but she fans on getting the stick on it, and it comes down to the Warriors' end, and Hahn is going to contend here with Gilmore. Gilmore up the strong side for Kuzminski. And then Murray comes in to take it away. But Hahn going 2-on-1 here with the Warriors, but it's Gilmore who will control it. She sends far side for Pedamshan. Pedamshan delays, gets some reinforcements, and sends it out of the zone. They somehow do not call offside on that. We call things both ways here, folks. I think that should have been offside. But anyways, here's Pedamshan. Puts it down low, and Murray has a pick set on her. Probably could have skated around that one in all honesty, but it is what it is, and that is right into the Dearborn benches. There's a collision with Pedamshan, and that might be Evers. It's a Dearborn player with the 4 of the second digit, and I think that was inadvertent. I didn't really catch it until the end, right out of the corner of my eye. So I'm not going to really comment too much, but that Dearborn player is still down, and they're going to have a discussion about this here. And it's too late for me to capture a replay that far back. So we'll see. There's going to be a conversation with the refs. Bowler wants her say. So does Pero. And that Dearborn player being attended to right now by the trainer on hand. So while this gets sorted out, 3:34 left, and I think we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After
all right, welcome back. That Dearborn player was up. I'm told it is number 14, so that would be Stephanie Hatch, but it's an offensive zone draw for Indiana Tech as they still trail by 1 here with just over 3.5 to go in a very important game on both sides of this equation. Calverta unable to keep it. Hutter putting the pressure on here of Zeifman. She'll find the release to Warham, but it's going to get a little bit further ahead than that and ends up with Savage. Tech trying to keep this one in, and eventually it'll be Calverta from her own zone. Sends it right through the middle, looking to find Yakachuk, but it ends up instead with Warham, who carries it across the line. Her shot is saved by Varner. So 2:56 here now. And we will see, we're still about a minute and a half away, I would say, from any sort of goalie pull. But who knows? I mean, Scott Hicks did pull the goalie with 6.2 or something seconds like that left in the period. So you never know. Might get aggressive with it here, and we'll see. Because this is, like I keep saying, I'll keep hammering it home, is a very important game. It is not do or die, but this is definitely going to help either team who is going to be able to win this one. And Indiana Tech also probably just confidence-wise as well. You know, after being up 2-0 and potentially blowing a lead going into the third period both nights, that I would imagine is probably not going to be the best feeling, but it is what it is. We're still a long way from that. There's still time to play here, and Borland, who's got 2 already, is trying to add another one as we're down inside 2:20. She's taken down to the ice, and nothing coming here as Dearborn is able to work it up. Evers gets it to Perro, knocked away though by Beek, and it's going to flutter to the neutral zone. Now to be played by Episcopo. She'll gain the red line and dump it in, and now here comes the goalie pull. Varner to the bench, 2 minutes to play, and let's see what we get here from Indiana Tech. Calverta, Murray keeps it alive, sends it back down low, but Indiana Tech, as Hutter needs to change, didn't have anyone below the hash marks on that. So Murray hard into the wall there, has help with Pethamshand, and I think that door might have been, the puck might have gotten stuck on that door. And Pethamshand is going to get a lecture here. And we got a shoving, and there's a coming together here. So Pethamshand was getting a lecture from 24, which is Evers. I was tripping for a second and thought I didn't see it on my roster. I should just know by this point in the game, of course. But okay. So 1:43 to go. That settles down. No penalties. Despite whatever might have been going on in the corner, I didn't necessarily see it. I would imagine just a couple of shoves. Pethamshand will take the face-off. It'll be far side. Comes out to the point for Episcopo. Net, again, still empty. 6-on-5 for Indiana Tech. Murray, a bad angle one-timer. Didn't get any air on it. That had no chance. Out to the point, though, for Calverta, as Indiana Tech still has a chance. Episcopo's shot is blocked before it gets to the net, and then the shot on goal is saved by Borso. .127, folks. That's what we're working with. We'll match up the clock here as best we can As we get closer, we'll just straight up adjust it. We won't try and match it up. So Williams to the faceoff now. And the rare faceoff loss there for Williams. It rims around, though, and Beek over in time to keep it alive. So 1:20 to play. This one comes out to the point. It gets past Beek. This is going to be a chance for Sensali, but Beek, a good play, at least slows it up and gives a chance for more Warriors to get back, and they do. So Beek, a good poke check there to get the stick on Sensali. But it comes to Green. Green needs to get this ahead and does to Hutter. Hutter's got Borland in the middle, but he'll just play it down inside the zone. Under a minute now for the Warriors to tie this game up. Right out in front, they try to center it. Hutter another try, and then covered by Borso with 52.8 seconds to go. Sigh of relief, everybody. Indiana Tech does not have their timeout, and I think you might. I mean, it's tough because you know what? You want to reset things after the first period did not go. The start of this period did not go very well, but this is exactly the situation you would love to have it. Also, probably did not anticipate to be needing it in this situation. That was kind of the point of using it at the beginning of the period. Either way, though, Calverta keeps it in, has pressure on her, then finds it down low for Pettimshand as we're inside of 45. Murray takes the bump. Bowler picks it out and has Calverta open at the point, gives it to her now. Calverta doesn't go for the wrist shot, looking for the redirect to Murray. Yakachuk trying to get there, plants Evers to the wall. Could have called that one, but they don't, and Dearborn wishes they would. 25 seconds, but they'll take this as it's just pinned to the wall there. Evers might have had it covered under her as she was just laying there. Not necessarily saying intentionally, but she was just sitting there. Episcopo off the shin pads and out of the zone. So 10 seconds left now. Well, now 10 seconds left. And this is bad news for the Warriors. Calverta fumbling with it. Episcopo is going to get tied up here. And that is going to be with Finley. And they're both going to go to the box with 6.3 seconds left. This faceoff, you think, is going to be in the Warriors zone. And that really is just going to spell the end of this one. More likely than not. As Dearborn looking for a penalty there when Evers got hit in the wall. But the problem is as she falls, with how many players were over there, she just could not get up. And so it ends up being kind of stuck there, and that ran it down probably another close to 10 seconds. So that, in the end, actually probably worked out better for Dearborn. Either way, though, 6.3 seconds left. Defensive zone draw for the Warriors, and it's actually 2 minutes for each side. Doesn't matter, though, as this is going to be rimmed around and out, and there's just not enough time for the Warriors. That is going to do it, and Dearborn, despite trailing entering the third period both nights, comes back and wins the hockey game. They sweep Indiana Tech. It was a 1-goal comeback last night and a 2-goal comeback this afternoon. And that is just unfortunate for the Warriors. Not the way you wanted this series to go. I would assume not the way you wanted the last game on home ice to go. You can argue the merits of how that shorthanded goal happened that tied the game. But the reality of the situation is it's going to go in the scorebooks as a 3-2 loss for Indiana Tech. And Dearborn just continues to show that they have got it going on this season. They are now 25-4-1 this year. And next weekend have a pair of good big games, good games, and a chance to clinch the number 1 seed overall in the conference too, which would be just really good stuff from them. Again, I don't think they even made the tournament last year. And for Indiana Tech, they are going to drop this game. They are now going to be 19-8-0-1. They will take that record to Lynchburg, Virginia on Thursday and Friday as they look to get that 20th win and get back in the win column and pick up a big couple of wins against the second-ranked team. That would help ease the pain of what I imagine this weekend might bring. So, Tech just going to head straight off the ice, and I'm not sure if this is partially because of what Dearborn was just kind of hanging out doing, but either way, so Tech with the 3-2 loss, a tough loss, and that brings to a conclusion our coverage for you here this season. And despite that, we are going to go ahead and say yet again, it has been a pleasure this season bringing everyone the coverage. It's been a largely successful season, not probably to the extent that we exactly wanted, but still a long way to go here and big games ahead. Best of luck to the team the rest of the way, And I hope everyone's enjoyed the broadcasts this season. Hopefully I was able to provide a little bit of entertainment on Friday nights and Saturday afternoons for everybody and provide coverage of everyone's student-athletes here, whether it's, a daughter, a granddaughter, a niece, whatever it may be. And, good stuff here yet again this season. Hopefully good things remaining here the rest of the way. So with that said, look forward to seeing everybody back here in September. And for the last time, shout out to my cameraman tonight, Eric Hosmer. My name is Joe Hacker. This has been Indiana Tech Women's Hockey, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.